Good evening and welcome to tonight's On the Sofa. Not sure why the intro video didn't work, but never mind. We'll play it again later on. So let's bring Vic on first. And there we go. Right.
Oh, you mean
Hiya,
my lovingly crafted intro that didn't work?
Oh no.
I spent ages on
I know.
that. Oh.
Well, wait
we
2
got
minutes.
Fifey on.
Let me see if I can get it and we can play it.
Okay.
I don't know why it didn't think. No, hang on. Let's see if we can play it. That was it. That was great, wasn't it?
Well, it's a bit more to it than that.
It?
It's about another minute, 36 seconds.
I know, let me try again. You have me try again. There's funny things happening. Let me just see if it'll do again. But I don't. No, it's not going to play. So we'll carry on.
Oh.
Doesn't like it today. Never mind.
Okay.
So, do you want to bring everybody else on straight away? Yeah, it is. Let's bring everybody on.
Yeah, let's crack on. Phil. Busy night.
Yeah. Yeah, Phil. We have Rob.
Happy Thursday.
We have Fifey.
Evening.
We have Ray. And last but not least, good evening to Mr. Hawes. There we go.
Good evening.
Okay, is that everybody?
Sorry about that, Fifey. Fifey, I'm sorry about that. I know you have a very professional intro. We normally do, but I'm not sure what's happened there. So I'm a little bit ashamed of it, if I'm honest.
Not at all.
We'll try again later, shall we?
The snippets is a great teaser for what the finished product's going to look like. Just keeping people in suspense.
Exactly.
Yeah, Mr. Hawes has got a Tampa Bay hat on, if I'm not very much mistaken. Is there any reason for that?
That is indeed correct, yes. The Rays have been doing quite well. And apparently Adrian Chance is a big fan, according to his column. So what more could one ask for? They may be becoming too mainstream now.
Well, indeed so. It's hot. And it's probably as hot as it is in Tampa Bay here right now. So should we get going? Because a lot to get through. I've got them all in months. So we'll kick off with August, shall we? And we kick off on the 8th of August at Cardiff City in the Football League Cup. Now, if you remember rightly, it was a night like this. It was blisteringly hot. We lost 2-1 at Cardiff City. Prince Will Etchebituman got a goal and looked really, really promising. And little did we know what ramification that game would have for the remainder of our season, Mr. Hawes. What little did we know?
Yes, I do wonder whether the club captain will be making an appearance for that, or whether it might be advisable to rest him for the opening fixture of the Football League campaign.
Yeah, it was an interesting one, wasn't it, Fifey? I mean, we all went away to.
Sorry, is it confirmed as the 8th?
Sorry, Chris, what?
Is it confirmed as the 8th of August?
It depends on Sky.
It's
that weekend. So
yeah, sorry, because it's
so at the minute it's the 8th.
Yeah, that's okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yes. So, Fifey, what's your view of it?
I mean, who doesn't love a good cup run? Who doesn't love going to rewrite history? Who doesn't love a trip across the water? It's got all the makings of a classic Swindon out in the first round.
I think that's 12 years in a row, Rob. It'll be if we do go out, won't it? Something like that, ridiculously.
Well, Vic, all we ever ask for is consistency, isn't it? And we're very consistent.
Phil, your memories of that night, I mean, it was bakingly hot, wasn't it? To use your surname in a strange way, but it was a very hot night, wasn't it, at Cardiff?
It was, and Swindon didn't wake up until the second half. And the second half, they made a fight of it. But our Wonder Star signing, loan signing, we all went home thinking it's going to make our season. Little did we realise that all that glitters is not gold.
Didn't quite work.
I think I've never been so disappointed.
Ray, what are your memories of it?
Yeah, the heat, most definitely. I'm quite glad it's down there again because it's a lovely stadium. So I've no problems with going back there. And, at the end of the day, the Prince Will thing, at least it was him that went to Salford and not to Drynan. So every cloud and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris, I mean, you went across the bridge that night, I think.
I did.
What were your thoughts after coming away?
I was impressed with Prince. I thought, oh, we've got a good one here. Little did that last. And it was my first real experience of safe standing, and I wasn't too impressed with that either. So, I don't know. I had a man that was about 6'4" in front of me. So it just didn't work for me. But yeah, nice stadium, as Ray says. Yeah, and I don't know if we will have to rest Ollie or not, as Andrew said, but I don't think it'd be good to play him so close after what happened, or so.
On the anniversary.
Yeah.
Trouble with my internet. It's the weather. I'm pretty sure of it. Mind you, we have the weather with it every week, quite frankly. Right. Let's go through the month of August then. Apart from the Cardiff City game, which, as we said, we kick off the league campaign on the 15th. We're away at Northampton, so we'll go to visit the Sixfield Stadium once again. Bob's favourite team, we've got Cheltenham on the 22nd. That's our opening home game of the season. And on the 29th, we have got Oldham away. At the minute, then, Rob, all Saturdays. We think they're all Saturdays at the minute. I mean, the Cardiff we don't know about yet. They might change it. But what's your view of that open?
Well, first and foremost, I'll give the EFL a lot of credit for once for putting the cup tie on a Saturday in the first round. We've been, my view of cup ties at the start of the season. I'd personally prefer it to be the group stages of the EFL Trophy as the penultimate 2 Saturdays before the season starts, because I think that would get better crowds. But at least we've actually seen some sense and put a cup tie on a Saturday rather than a midweek game. So all credit to them for that. In terms of the fixtures themselves, I'm not sure we could have picked a much tougher start than this, if I'm truly honest. Northampton away, team that came down, will take a good following. Of course we will. It's a ground we've been to many times and certainly one that most people look forward to travelling to. But they'll be a tough side and they'll certainly be up there this season. I'll forget the home game for a second, but the next away one, Oldham again, is another team who are trying to spend big this summer. And certainly towards the back end of last season were close on the form team alongside Grimsby for the of the division. So both of the 2 away fixtures in August are really, really tough. And we all know our lovely friends up the 417 Missing Link have decided that they like to camp out at the county ground and beat us every time they play here. So whilst it absolutely abhors me most times we play them here, that is the bottom line, isn't it? They do tend to take 3 points from here almost every time they play. So I'm not sure we could have picked a much tougher start than this, I have to say.
Fifey, what's your view?
I'm actually quite excited by August. Northampton away, as was said, it was one of the early designated FRI away days, so to have it opening day is class. The last time, pretty sure it was the last time we were there, it was was a great night as well. And there's been many a good memory that Swindon fans have had at Northampton, to be fair. So it'll be like I said, tough start, but I think a good play. If you're going to start away from home, I think I'd rather start away at like a Northampton than some of the other places. Cheltenham at home, local-ish rivalry, not a derby obviously, but local-ish rivalry for a first home game of the season. Can't really complain of that either. And yeah, as was said a minute ago, August in itself, all 4 games, it's going to be a test. We have to play these teams anyway. Let's get, if this is deemed a tough start, let's get them out of the way early, and let's not only see what we're made of, let's see what they're made of early doors.
Yeah, Mr. Hawes, obviously, when you talk of Northampton, you think immediately of Jordan Lydon and that magical night when we beat them down there. What are your thoughts on that first month? You've got a little bit of travelling, but not too bad.
Yeah, no, it's quite nice on that front. I actually think Northampton's quite a good one to start with. 1, because we take a good following. 2, the recent results there. 3, I disagree with Rob a bit because they are in a kind of transition because they really did just like drop out of League One, like I said. By the end, Colin Calder was in temporary charge, so you've got a new manager, perhaps a new team to go up with, a team that, in theory, for Swindon should know each other a bit better. So, I look at that and think, as openers go, that's not too bad, really.
No. Ray, Cardiff, Northampton, Cheltenham, and Oldham in that order. Won a cup match at the beginning, of course. Not too much travelling. Oldham away on a Saturday in the summer. That could be a bit of a test, I think, getting up there and back. But how happy are you with that first month?
Yeah. As the guys said, it's not an easy start. Northampton one's a bit of an unknown, but that could go either way. I think Oldham away is a bit worrying from a point of view there. You mentioned that money they're spending, but their form in that run-in just before the end of the run-in was brilliant as well. So that'll be tough. The only thing I was thinking about, it's supposed to be the coldest ground in the league. So if we get it out of the way in August, it'd probably be snowed off. We got rained off at Colchester. It'll probably be snowed off. But no, in theory, it should be nice and warm up there.
I think we take the coldest ground in the league right now, quite frankly, wouldn't we? That would do nicely. I've got some comments coming in. This is from Dave. Really looking forward to the season ahead. Northampton away. I will go to the cup matches, but not really bothered. Just want a good league run. Fed up with the negativity on social media. Already about Gav Gunning. I just get behind the team. Can't wait to be back watching the town. Ian says, tough start. It's a tough start, Phil, but hey, it's like any competition. If you want to do well, you've got to do well against these teams, haven't you?
You've got to face them at some stage in the season. They may be only getting their act together. We hope we're further ahead in our prep than they are. It was interesting when towards the end of last season, Colin Calderwood was at the county ground to have a look at us. Yes. Interviewed him. He said to me he was there to look to see what the standard was in League Two because they were coming down to it. So he had a good look at us. But Northampton is always a game that produces incident, doesn't it? It's never a dull game. And Cheltenham, well, increasingly, they just become our bogey side. And, my youngest daughter lives in Cheltenham, so it upsets me when we lose to Cheltenham because she gets to put up a stick in Cheltenham. And Oldham, they are going to be a tough nut to crack, I think. And it will be a good test of where we're at. And we may be able to gauge something of how much more we've got to do, or are we well on the way to having a good side ourselves?
Yeah, that Colin Calderwood afternoon was quite interesting because I was running around trying to find him, and he was waiting for me on the pitch. So it was one of those afternoons, really. What a legend, what a player. Hi, Anthony. Let's see who we signed before we write off the beginning of the season. All winnable with the right and fit players. Hi, Alan. Depends on how you look at it. Yes, it's tough, but a great chance to put a marker down against some good sides. Pete says, agree, I get fed up with the abuse and ridicule I get in the stands from certain faction just because I cheered and clapped. Hey, hang on a minute. We're all Swindon fans, aren't we? Isn't that basically what we are? This is from at J Wilts 9. Fifey, wow, a true shaman of STFC. How much did that cost?
I've been called a lot worse, both on and off streams, so I'll take it.
Yeah, fair enough. Right, let's go into September then. Home to Port Vale on the 1st. That's a Tuesday night. And then 4 successive Saturdays. We've got Colchester at home on the 5th. On the 12th is our first visit to the new York Stadium. We have, of course, played at the old one. That's on the 12th. On the 19th, we're away at Salford on a Saturday. And the 26th, away at Accrington on the Saturday, Rob. On the face of it, a bit of travelling in there, but it could have been worse, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think those of us who travel away regularly, Vic, as you well know, we would rather get a lot of these long distance trips out of the way early doors if we can, rather than have to suffer them in the depths of winter. So to have a York City and a Salford in September away from home is no bad thing. I have to say, used to having lots of Tuesday night matches in September usually, and there aren't this time around, is there? So fixture list is a little bit different to what we're used to seeing this time around. But I think there's September on paper, certainly to me, looks like it's a month where the away fixtures are tough, the home fixtures you'll hope for lots of points. So it's critical, as we've said many times before now, that our home form suddenly gets back to what it was in years gone by. Because again, last season away from home, generally speaking, we were up there with the best teams in the division. At home was what cost us. So there's an opportunity there with those September fixtures to get a good haul of points on the board.
Yeah, York away, as I've said, it's a new ground for many. Fifey, I mean, I'm old enough to have been to the old one, but that's always something to look forward to, isn't it? I think it's the only one, isn't it, in the entire season?
Yeah, I mean, we've had this chat before, and a lot of the Swindon fans I've spoken to, they pinpointed York is that, you know, that they could probably give us, if it was accessible to people, we would sell a lot of tickets for that one. A lot of Swindon fans that's one they've said, I want to go there. I've not been there before. It's a new team we haven't seen for a while, that kind of thing. So I think there'll be a lot of excitement that York is happening on what should be, still one of the nicer months of the season. And as Rob said, it's not like York away is being played between November and February, and there's every chance it's getting postponed and then moved to a Tuesday night and all sorts of chaos and carnage going on. So fingers crossed that's there. Port Vale at home to start the month. I think you said the first is a Tuesday, which, as much as it shouldn't matter, it might actually work in the favour, because there's still a lot of Swindon fans who hold a personal dislike, disdain, grudge towards Port Vale supporters as much as anything. So the fact it's on a Tuesday and maybe not that all-encompassing Saturday crowd might just level that playing field a little bit and keep let calmer heads prevail. But again, I'm looking through it, and maybe it's delusions of not knowing what our team's going to look like yet. But I saw there was a comment in the chat: are there any easy games in this league? You would say no, because no matter what league you're in, outside of the absolute elitist teams, you should all be of a standard to an extent. But I look at those 5 games in September, and I think that there's no reason we should. We shouldn't fear anybody in this league. I'm not going to say Swindon Town are massive, because we've been a League 2 team for a long time, but we showed for at least the first half of last season we're a very capable team. And if you are to believe the words that come out, that budgets are going to be similar and lessons are being learned and this and that and the next thing, you would like to think we could start the same and then improve from January onwards. So again, I'm looking at September thinking we could lay that marker early doors and have a really good start to the season.
That comment about the big club in the division, that comes from Paul. He says, we're a big club in this division. Clubs should be afraid of us, not the other way round. Hi, Peter Thomas Banting. Are there really any easy games in this league anyway? We thought the run of fixtures after January this year were kinder, but it didn't really turn out like this. Hi, Liam. Evening all. I hope you're well in this heat wave. Yeah, whatever. Anybody had an argument about where the tea towel is yet? It's that sort of weather, isn't it? What tea towel? I don't know where it is. Evening, all. I hope you're one of you. Actually, playing Port Villains on a Tuesday night will reduce the number of travelling supporters, as Fifey just said. York City away, Andrew. How much are you looking forward to that? I think the last time we played up there, we won midweek in sometime in the 80s, mid 80s, if memory serves. So it's been a long time.
I think, I'm sure we were up there and had a rare defeat in the 95-96 league.
Oh, yeah.
It would now be League One promotion season. Very rare defeat. I can remember some very annoyed people hanging off the terracing or hanging off the fencing at Bootham Crescent after the shock of losing. So, I mean, they played us in the cup a couple of years ago here, but then they were down in National League North. Looks like they're going to throw money around. It's a new game. So yeah, I am actually looking forward to that. I think it's generally nice to, with one or two exceptions, see a few traditional clubs sort of back in the league, having been out in the considerable wilds of Conference North. And I think it ought to be a good game because we all think York are going to chuck some more money at it, having chucked a fair bit of money at it to get back out the National League.
When do you consider the nuts and bolts of the season? When's it settled down? Are we looking into the next month? Sometimes in October. Teams have suddenly got used to each other. Plus the transfer window is shut. That ridiculous thing. You wouldn't want to shut any window at the minute, but that one shuts at the end of August, doesn't it? So when do you think it's settling down?
Yeah, I think you are probably looking to about maybe 8 or 9 games in. We've only got one home game in August now, apart from anything else. So we're not going to get much of an idea of our home form. Perhaps having only played Cheltenham until September, and then you do have to kind of let the window settle down. And I think a few more teams might be forced to get loans in and so forth that little bit later because of the World Cup and stuff and all the kind of knock-on effects of players arriving later. So maybe it will take till the end of September, maybe even the middle of October before we really get a sort of feel as to how the division might unfold.
All right, we'll get into October in a minute. More comments coming in. Glad York is early on. An early start on the coach and better is in good weather than the middle of winter when we get halfway up there and it's called off. Always a red, says Andy. Hi, Kevin. How do you feel about talking about League Two again? I don't know we want to talk about that, Ray, do we? We want to talk about League One. We want to talk about Championship if you want. But here we are again, unfortunately. And we've got a September in, it's the way it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's all we can talk about. But it's an interesting month. York I'm looking forward to because not least of all because York's a really nice city as well. So that might be a couple of nights away. That one I quite like York. And it kind of offsets the disappointment of having to go to Salford next as well, which no one will be looking forward to, but I'm sure we're all looking forward to York. It's difficult, isn't it? If you take an historic viewpoint, Port Vale we're usually pretty good against at home. Unfortunately, Colchester are Colchester. And Accrington, you would think we'd be fairly good against at home as well. So hopefully there are a few points in there. But I do think, as people say, it does depend where you are. And once you start to maybe end of September get an idea for where we are as well, looking at the fixture list, you may feel quite a bit different. But it's hard to know how excited to be at the moment versus how worried, isn't it? It will develop as we go along.
Yeah. Hi, Anthony. I was hoping York races would be on that weekend. Kill two birds with one stone. Is it? It may be. I don't know. It's around about then, isn't it? Your view, Phil. You must have been to York, the old ground, before.
No, I haven't.
Oh.
I'm looking forward to going to York to see a football game. And it's not a ground that I ever managed to get to. The one that month I am looking at is Salford, because if I was a betting man, I'd be down in the betting shop to put bet on 3-2 to Salford. But with the money they're spending and the change in management, I think they may well be one of the teams to beat. And they've always given us a tough test. And I think that could well be one of my key guides as to how well we'll do this coming season.
If memory serves, they beat us by the same score 3 times last year, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Let's go to October then. Rochdale away on the 3rd of October. That's a Saturday. The 10th is Crewe at home, also a Saturday. The 17th, Walsall at home. That's a Saturday. A Tuesday night at Barnet on the 20th, as it was last season. Yes, we had a Tuesday night at Barnet. Ollie Clark with 2 second-half goals gave us a 2-1 win after a pretty abject first-half performance, if I remember rightly. Bristol Rovers at home is on a Saturday on the 24th. And Rotherham... Away, sorry, you're quite right. Yes, it's the heat. And then Rotherham at home on the 31st. That's on a Saturday. How does that look, Rob?
Busy month, must be said. But again, there's some very attractive fixtures in there, isn't there? The local derby this year with Rovers, assuming we get our act together and become the side that we're all hoping that we're going to be. I don't think anyone doubts that Bristol Rovers will be a much better proposition this time around as well, because they're not starting from a shocking start to the season this time around, are they? So I'm sure they'll be there or thereabouts. So that local derby is a bit mouth-watering, I think. Barnet were a good side the back end of last season as well, weren't they? So looking forward to seeing if they've developed in any way, shape or form. And we know that they have a midfield player of ours that we would have liked to have seen second half of last season to have helped our own situation. So they'll be a tough proposition, but the early games in the month are quite interesting because Rochdale coming up. Nobody really has too much of an idea how good they are, but that'll be an interesting game. Crewe at home, you always think Crewe at home will beat them comfortably. Somehow it always transpires to be something completely different. And then Walsall, another side that historically we don't generally do too well against at home, but they're all fixtures at the moment that you look at on paper and you think, well, you really need to see the makeup of their squads, because the likes of Walsall, big turnover, Crewe, big turnover, Rochdale coming up from National League, Bristol Rovers, another big turnover, but obviously starting from a higher point, Barnet the same, and Rotherham, really not sure what to make of them, because there's an awful lot of people suggesting that Rotherham actually could go straight through. A side who've got a lovely new stadium and obviously have been playing at a much higher level, but there's not a lot of confidence in South Yorkshire at the moment.
Yeah, see, Scott Lindsay was linked with them earlier this week. I don't know how real that is, but he was certainly linked. This has been John, Mr. John Stevens. Hello. Evening all. I've said it before, and I may be in a group of one, but I'm looking forward to Salford. That's because you've got a lot of mates up there, John. We know that.
He's in a group of one, Vic.
Yeah, yes. Unique. Andrew's hat takes years off him. Is the flat cap consigned to history, he asked. Now, I'll get back to you in a minute, Vifey, but we all want to know that. No. Is the flat cap done? This
is very much summer wear. Come even a boiling Oldham in August, it'll be back. Fear not. The flat cap will live again.
Okay. The flat cap is still going. Right, this is from Lawrence. I hope the players don't watch this. So negative already by this panel. Are we being negative, Fifey?
I didn't think particularly, but it takes all sorts. I'll tell you what, I'll try and do this October specifically for Lawrence. From a personal perspective, I'm gutted because Rochdale away was a game I very much wanted to do. It falls on one of the full stag do's, so most of us are unavailable. I could not be more gutted. However, I am, for Lawrence's sake and for everyone who wants that positive voice, I am looking at those 6 games. I'm thinking nothing says League 2 October than those 6 games. I'm thinking we had Barnet at home on a Tuesday, Barnet away on a Tuesday. It's traditional we play Barnet on a Tuesday. And I'm very excited. I mean, it's an attractive set of proper League 2 fixtures, that. And I can see a maximum 18 points is very possible, especially by the time we've assembled the Avengers of League 2 squads.
I see what you did there regarding Falls Rush In. Very good indeed. That 5 feet, excellent. Well, we're not being negative, Lawrence. We're just trying to, I don't know, pick our way through this. Nobody knows, Andrew, yet what these squads are going to look like, do we? And what are your thoughts on this? Rochdale away, decent chippy, opposite the away end. Crewe at home, always attractive. Walsall at home. Barnet away, as we knew, it was a cold night last year. Bristol Rovers away and Rotherham at home. What are your thoughts? What are you looking for from that?
Yeah, no, there's an interesting bag there. I think you would have to hope you can get quite a healthy return out of Rochdale, Crewe and Walsall. Rochdale have come up and lost their manager. So that all makes that a bit complicated. And I would quite fancy both Barnet and Bristol Rovers to be up there. So if that is a good week, then maybe it'll be a good season. And Rotherham do seem to be in a bit of a mess. So I'll give some optimism that, you know, if you have a steady August and September, maybe October is where you can start making your move, and we can do it in reverse from last season. We can start off a little more slowly and then accelerate on the way, rather than
to be the best. You've got to beat the best.
Yes, well, this is it. As we're seeing in the World Cup. I mean, you know, you don't win a World Cup by just beating easy teams, do you? There are no easy teams in international football. I know that. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this one as well, Horsey. Peter says, any thoughts on our new signings? We've signed a Moldovan international this week.
It's good for novelty. Yes.
Yes.
I think Mitch Clark seems to be the kind of signing we're trying to make a play. He's got a fairly decent record at this level and maybe a little bit above. A bit more experience than Jake Batty. It sounds like he's going to start, or he's more likely, I think, to be the left back choice than right back choice. So seems a pretty sensible acquisition. And I can remember Negru playing for Salford and looking quite tidy. You know, last season his loans were Bristol Rovers and Tranmere, so not so good in terms of the team there. But I do remember him being a quite sort of no nonsense defender, even for someone who's relatively young. So hopefully they're sort of two additions. They've got a decent amount of experience between them of the league, and they add, you know, they're also in that sort of slightly better age brackets, I think, than either under 21 or over 30.
And have we got any more coming imminently? Do you know of? Because I know we've got Super Marina Week on Saturday, but then they're off to Spain, and you would hope that they've got quite a few of whoever they want in by then.
Yeah, no, there certainly has been, I think, some sort of attempt to bring in a winger, but I don't know if it's going to happen or not. It'll be a bit wait and see on those, but they're certainly still looking for more, and you know, they wouldn't necessarily be upset to let one or two more go as well. So.
Okay, fair enough. Let's carry on with October. What's your pick of that then, Andrew? Which one would you look for mostly in that month?
As an actual game to go to, I really like going to Rochdale. I have to say fun, but I guess you've got to look at if we're both in any kind of reasonable stand. The match at Rovers should be fun if we're both sort of, you know, bubbling under there around the top six.
Charlie Austin's 4 goals, if I remember rightly, our last trip to Scotland, wasn't it? In that 4.
And we still nearly lost. There we go. There's some negativity for everyone.
Yeah. Ray, there's some games there to pick the bones out of. Which one do you look at?
Yeah, well, I'm sort of the yin to Fife is yang, really, because I was looking at the beginning of October, knowing I'm not going to be there, and hoping that 4 games didn't drop in there because there's 4 grounds I haven't been to. And thankfully, I've avoided those, so I was quite happy with the beginning of October. I think for me, the key thing that stood out are they look like 3 quite juicy away games. I think there's a challenge in all of those away games, so they'll be really interesting. And I think, apologies if I'm coming across negative, but I think it's more cautious having the way we fell away at the back end of last year. I'm sure if this was a Walsall panel this time last year, they'd have been more negative than us.
Yeah. They've had that 3 seasons in a row or 2? I can't remember. They've had that dramatic falling off the cliff, haven't they? More comments coming in. Don't forget, says Nick, Sky could create havoc with these. Yes. Yeah. These are the original fixtures at the moment. But as you quite rightly say, anything could happen with Sky. It's all negative tonight, says Anthony, constantly bringing up other clubs. Maybe they're saying the same about us. Signed up key out-of-contract players, wounded from missing out on playoffs, hungry to go up. Are you negative, Phil?
Tentative. Because I think the signings that we still need will make or break us, I think. He's got a core, but we saw last season we just need something extra to get us over the line. And the ones we've signed so far, I would class as steady. I'm looking for a couple of sparky ones. I'm glad Andrew sniffs that there may be a winger coming. We're desperate for a good winger. absolutely vital to have at least one good winger in the club, because we lack pace up front, especially if you play Drennan up front and Smith up front or Palmer up front. It's slow, but you've got to have somebody who will feed them, get to the byline and whip them in. So to me, that is an absolutely crucial signing that is still yet to come. So I'm tentative, but hopeful. Thinking of Sky, I think the Bristol Rovers game would not be at 3:00. And I would think that's a very attractive proposition for a Sky who could well do something silly like a Thursday night or a Friday night.
Well, at least it's a short one. At least it's, I thought yeah, indeed. I thought we'd get York City away on the first game of the season, and then we'd have to go on a Friday night or something. That was
that was my betting, was York away.
Yeah.
But the other games in the month are really, I think, full of intrigue. Rochdale, I think, may well struggle this season, despite their roaring end of last season. I think they lost their star striker as well, haven't they? Or he's about to go, as well as their manager. Barnet, I think, will be tricky. They certainly, with their current manager, were very well put together and used the strengths of what they had there. And he'd read us extremely well. Rotherham, after the way they played against us last season, I wouldn't be frightened of going there again. But it's going to be an interesting month. And we will see where we get to.
We will. Let's go into November then. No league game till the 14th. That presumably is because of the first round of the FA Cup, I suspect. On the 14th, Grimsby at home. That's a Saturday. The 21st, Newport away. That's a Saturday. And on the 28th, Chesterfield at home. That's a Saturday. So all Saturdays, Rob, in November. Well, at the minute they are anyway. And of course, the FA Cup to throw into the mix.
Yeah, good fixtures November. I like those, I have to say. Grimsby, Chesterfield, two teams who were right up there last year, both of whom potentially could offer a challenge again this year. Newport away is always a good day. And obviously there's been problems with that one being moved to a Friday night in days gone by and things like that. I don't think that will happen. Hopefully Sky won't decide to move that one either, so that can stay a Saturday too. It's always a good day out, that one. I think it's difficult when people talk about being negative and positive, isn't it? We've got no clue at this stage what our team makeup will look like. No. So anybody who's trying to be positive or negative at this minute in time is really trying to go from a base which no one can shoot from, because you don't have any clue about any other teams. You've got no great clue about our own. So it's more a case at the minute of just assessing what the games are that we're playing, who we're playing against, and what we feel about that. It's nothing at all to do with whether we think we'll do well or we will do badly. We all are extremely optimistic. People generally, aren't we? For football fans, we can be optimistic and pessimistic at the same time. We'll tell you that we're going to win every game, and then we'll all fully expect to lose them. So that's the way it goes, isn't it?
Well, very well summed up. I think we can be optimistic after 45 minutes and desperately pessimistic after 90, quite frankly. Yeah. So it is 5 November, short month regarding league matches, but with the FA Cup, of course, wouldn't it be good to get a nice non-league team away from home? Wouldn't that be great?
In one sense, yes, but equally no. We've all had our fair share of being knocked out by non-league sides.
No. We're going to get through it, you see. That's the point. I'm not being negative about that. We're going to get through. Yeah.
Apologies for doing this, and it's only because I have to shoot in a minute to go and do something else. But I'm just going to very quickly kind of do November and December, so I've covered 26 before I leave, if that's okay.
Well, I know you've probably got another media thing to do, so I know you're
something like that.
Yeah.
Like that. This will come across initially negative, but I'm going to extend on it. November and December as a package looks difficult in terms of how I would traditionally look at the sides we're facing. It looks a difficult 2 months. This will be, for me, the make or break of the season at this point as to how the fixtures have felt. On saying that, I believe if we are to, in some way, mirror what happened, I think we will take a lot of points off a lot of fellow, hopefully promotion contenders during that sort of 8-week period. I do believe that we will have a cup run. I think there was every chance we could and perhaps should have had a cup run last year, and for one reason or another, a la Salford, it didn't happen. You know, it's not often Swindon get to the third round, so to be rewarded in the way we were is sums up Swindon last year, I think. But I do believe it will be extremely tough. But there are some attractive looking fixtures there. You know, Fleetwood away in December is one. I think Shrewsbury away on Boxing Day. There are certainly worse games we could have on Boxing Day. Again, without jumping too far ahead, Grimsby, Newport, Chesterfield. It's a tough 3 games, and people might even look at it and say Newport isn't that tough. Newport can be tough, and they are signing some fantastic names of players, if nothing else. I'm really looking forward to all of the commentators up and down the country pronouncing half the Newport team.
I've seen those.
Yeah, I'm sure you have. I think November and December is the kind of 8-week period that makes or breaks our season. I know it's fairly easy to say with everyone says the hectic festive schedule as well, but I think if we can kind of mirror what we did last year for the first half of the season, I think by the time January 1st comes around and Crawley at home, we could be in a very good position. I'm genuinely optimistic. And I know there's a lot of factors. Recruitment has to be right. This has to be right. That has to be right. But just purely on the face of the names in front of us, I think by the time January 1st comes around, we could be and should be, as a fan base, feeling very, very positive.
Excellent note to end on, Fifey. You can come again if that's all right with you.
Please do. I'm gutted that I'm happy to leave this one early, but I had a final commitment.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
If anything, what I did do was I delayed the other thing 45 minutes, and I said to Chris, "Can I come on to this first?"
Brilliant. Well done. I'll see you again soon.
See you all again soon. Enjoy the rest of the show, guys.
Take it easy. Cheers, Fifey. Fools rush in on a Monday night at 9 o'clock generally, and also on a Friday as well. So. Mr. Halls, who will have those difficult games at Newport to do. Normally that's moved on a Friday because of rugby, but I don't foresee there being a problem in November.
I bring you bad tidings because I've just had a look, and it looks like Wales have home rugby games in November. So
right. Okay.
I guess there's every chance that it may be moved in that case. I think the one for the 21st is they're playing Australia. As long as I'm reading my picture, they're playing Australia in the evening. So maybe I don't know. Maybe it could be a lunchtime. Maybe it won't be. But fingers crossed for a nice Saturday afternoon at Newport, but not guaranteed. I think.
Okay. Do you want to make your way through November? There's only 3 games plus the FA Cup, of course. You can get into December as well if you wish.
No. Let's do that. Obviously Grimsby and Chesterfield, I think we assume are going to be pretty close to where they were last year. So that's 2 sort of good tests of where we are at home. But I do look at December, and other than moaning about the fact we've got to go to Gillingham on a Tuesday night again, but if you follow that up with Gillingham, who I keep thinking are going to do well each season, do not. Then Fleetwood, Tranmere, Shrewsbury all struggled with the next 3 last season. You'll obviously be our specialist on Exeter, Vic, but I think everyone has been a bit worried about the money. And then if we leak into Crawley on New Year's Day, now that really does look like a month where you can pick up points and pick up ground on teams. I don't think there's anything very much. Quote these words later, but at this stage, there doesn't look anything too frightening in December.
Yeah, many Exeter fans are a bit worried about them going straight through. That was mentioned about who was it? Rotherham, yes. The same could be said of a lot of Exeter fans. They're a bit worried about whether they go straight through from what was League One straight through to National League, but we'll see how they fare. Matt Taylor, of course, is back there as manager. Jack Byfield may well be the number 1 choice in goal this season, so we'll see how they go. Ray?
Watching from set pieces.
Yes, what a great header that was. I think they got goal of the season for that at Exeter, not surprisingly. It's terrific. Yeah. What are your thoughts? November, December?
Yeah. As Rob said, the 2 home games look good. I think Grimsby and Chesterfield will be competitive again, and they're likely to be good games. So I'm looking forward to those two. I think that December, I think the Fleetwood's likely to be the reverse of the Oldham. We've got Oldham at the right time. I think Fleetwood's likely to be freezing. But the other thing I was pleased about in December is we got Exeter over the holidays, because I guess that means they'll bring a few more, because that's the other thing. We want to see some away fans at the county ground as well. So I think that's fallen at a good time for us, really. Boxing Day fixture I wasn't particularly enamoured with, to be honest. Not the best, Shrewsbury away. But as was said, there are some potential points in there. Gillingham, I'm expecting Gillingham to do well this year, but we'll see. Yeah.
Well, they've had American owners for a couple of seasons now, haven't they? And they've kind of been disappointing, I think it's fair to say, with what's happened there. We'll see. Of course, Christmas fixtures. I'll give you them fully. The 19th is Tranmere away. Woohoo! Then the 26th is Boxing Day, Shrewsbury away. Exeter at home on the 29th. And then New Year's Day is Crawley as well at home. Rob, what are your thoughts on all that lot?
I like Christmas fixtures. I have to say, I think there's big points available for us there. I don't foresee any of those 4 teams that you've just read out threatening any of the teams towards the top of the table. So there's real opportunities for points there. Gillingham, we mention Gillingham every year, don't we? Because the very interesting thing is they're saying all the right things, but they were saying all the right things this time last summer as well, and it just completely self-destructed, didn't it? After what looked like a really promising start. They were right up there for a couple of months, and to be honest, if the season had gone on for another month, they may very well have found themselves at the route to the bottom of the table. They had free fallen that far. But you have to assume they will do better this year, but doing better may well be mid-table for them rather than top of the league, I think. And December is historically, because you play so many games, it can change any complexion of a season, can't it? And I think we've got fixtures there. If you include the Crawley one as well on New Year's Day, there's fixtures there that could see us springboard forward. So I'm really optimistic about the December fixtures, I have to say.
Phil, I'm sorry I missed you out. How rude. What are your thoughts?
Well, December starts well for us, isn't it? Because we'll have a free Saturday with the FA Cup.
Yes. Yeah.
So we'll be fit and ready to take on Fleetwood. It's a month with winnable points, I think, as you're looking down there. I have to declare an interest that I was born and bred in Exeter. I own Exeter City as a member of their trust. But I echo what Vic is saying, that they are very worried about the coming season. The gravy train from selling on players has dried up, and they have a fantastic training ground, and but they are not producing young players at the moment. And so I think the Exeter game should be an easy one to win. I'm hoping this is not being seen in Exeter, because my life in Exeter may be in dire trouble. But no, and with Crawley, who I cannot see Crawley improving at all. They've chopped and changed so much in recent seasons. So with Exeter and Crawley is distinctly winnable. Shrewsbury, a potentially winnable game. Tranmere, unless they improve a lot on last season, we can get points there. Fleetwood will be tough because they seem well organised always when we go to Fleetwood. And Gillingham, if they don't improve, Ainsworth will be gone by beginning of December, I would assume. So we hope they have a poor start and they're in disarray. But, it's a month which does give us hope.
I won't relay your feelings about Exeter City's season to your cousin when I see him at Sporting Memories next week. Is that all right? Right. Let's hire. This is at See What I Found. Wow, fabulous. If Clark is fit and in the best 11 he should play, are we a charity or a competitive football club? Never shy away from a challenge, however difficult. That sends out the wrong message. I'm guessing that's regarding the Cardiff game, the EFL Cup match back in August, which we open our campaign, really. All right, Rob, you mentioned Crawley at home on New Year's Day. Actually, I missed out what you said about Phil having a free Saturday. You were saying that we will be out of the first round of the FA Cup. Is that what you're meaning?
Well, it's our Christmas shopping day, isn't it?
No, we're going to get through this year. We'll be fine. Don't
Well,
worry.
I'm more than happy to be utterly proved wrong.
Excellent. Right, well, there you go. There's a bit of positivity for you. So Crawley on the 1st. On the 9th, it's Tranmere. Is that at home or away?
Away.
Away, yeah.
Postponed.
Yes. The 16th is Walsall. That's away on a Saturday. Barnet on a home on a Tuesday. Bristol Rovers at home on the 23rd. And then the 30th is away at Rotherham, Rob. Difficult or what that month? What would you say?
Interesting month, because I do think actually we're due a bad weather season, aren't we? And if we get one this year, there's a couple of treks there that might not necessarily be nice to have on Tuesday nights if they do get moved. But if we take it that the current 30 odd degrees continues throughout the winter as well, then Tranmere should be a nice pleasant trip on the second Saturday of the new year. And Bristol Rovers again is the one that stands out in that month, isn't it? That's the game again, a little bit earlier maybe than you might have wanted for the second match against Rovers, because it will still be a long way away from the end of the season at that point. But I suspect if there's any team in that month that we'll look at as the fixture that we're really looking forward to, it will be that one.
Kaylee's looking forward to the season. That's good news, Kaylee. I'm going to whiz through the next 2 months, Horsey, if that's okay with you, because time is running out. So quick thoughts on January, then February. What do you think about February? We've got Oldham on the 6th at home. That's a Saturday. The 9th is away at Port Vale on a Tuesday. 13th is at Colchester. At the moment, it's a Saturday. Seriously, at the moment. Then on the 20th, it's York at home. That's a Saturday. And then Grimsby away also on a Saturday. So quick thoughts on January and then February.
I'm sure there'll be some annual Essex Cultural Festival that will require Colchester to be moved. I suppose on kind of January and February, it's quite interesting how we're playing quite a lot of the teams in January that we've played fairly recently. Before that, in kind of Tranmere, Walsall, Barnet, and Bristol Rovers, it's all a bit strange how it's spread out. And then February is kind of more a repeat of the sort of opening August and September. So it's a little odd what the fixture computer feels like doing. But again, I think Port Vale away on a Tuesday is not the worst, because it's less of an incentive to travel there, probably.
Yeah. We all remember that night, don't we? Ray, thoughts on that?
Yeah. Well, I am expecting us to be in the third round of the FA Cup for the Crawley one. So, I'm optimistic on that one. Bristol Rovers is the game, as was said. So I'm looking forward to that one. And then going into February, quite interesting away games again. February, I think that on paper, all of those are a bit challenging. Colchester, just because it's Colchester again. Port Vale are likely to be give us a game, and Grimsby, you would expect them to be, competing again. So the away games are interesting in February, and be a good indicator of what's to come for the last bit of the season, really.
Phil?
Much as others have done, Port Vale, it will, for coming seasons, will have that air of tension over it. But it's a good job. It is a Tuesday night, which will cut down the number of not so nice Swindon fans who will travel up there. Colchester, I'm told there are many festivals on that date. Andrew is right. But it has become quite a bogey ground for us to go to in recent years, hasn't it? We just haven't performed as we should do there. And Grimsby, unless they lose players in the close season because of how well they did at the end of last season, will be a challenge for us. And I hope it's not a 12:30 kickoff this time.
Yeah. Yes. Although I missed that one.
It spoilt my fish and chips. Having fish and chips at 10:45 on a Saturday morning is not good for my diet.
No. 26 miles the following day is not a good thing necessarily. What about you, Rob? January, one or two nice ones in there, Rovers, as we've mentioned, but February looks half decent, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going back to Port Vale. Maybe I'm a sadist. I don't know after what happened last time we were there, but it's one of those grounds. Once you've had an experience like that, you want to put one back over that team again, don't you? So I've been waiting to see the Port Vale fixture come out, I have to say. And the fact that it's a Tuesday night, it will deter a few, I'm sure, but I'm also sure we'll also take a decent following because we always do to Port Vale. So I think we've got something to prove there. Grimsby is interesting when they've sold McEachran today, haven't they? I noticed he's gone to Chesterfield. So they may well have a turnover of players, but I think towards the back end of last season, you could see that they were definitely going to develop into a really good side. So I'm sure they'll still be up there, which again makes probably the message that we gave out earlier in the broadcast about our home form. It's critical that we win our home games. We need to get points on the board at home. Because that's certainly that month again, you'd probably be quite content to take a win, a draw, and a defeat out of those 3 away games potentially, as long as you're winning your home games.
Hi Nathan, they were the best fish and chips I've ever eaten. Only good thing about that day. Yes. Right, let's do 2 months now, Mr. Hawes. March and April. March, we've got on the 6th of March, we've got Northampton at home. That's a Saturday. The 13th is Cheltenham away, Rob's favourite game of the entire season. That's on a Saturday. On the 20th, Newport at home. That's a Saturday. Crawley away on the 26th, which is Good Friday, if memory serves. And then on Easter Monday, we've got Shrewsbury at home. April, Exeter away. How lovely. That's a Saturday on the 3rd. Fleetwood on the 10th, that's home on a Saturday. Crewe away on the 13th on a Tuesday. Salford at home on a Saturday on the 17th. On the 24th, it's Accrington away on a Saturday. And then a Tuesday night, home against Rochdale, the 27th. Lots to get through, Mr. Hawes. What are your picks out of that?
Yeah. So firstly, I think it's very unusual to have midweek games scheduled for that late in the season. There's already 2 in there with the Crewe trip and the home game to Rochdale. Because if we do have bad weather, you're kind of running out of places to reschedule. So I'm quite surprised to see that April is quite so jam-packed with 6 league fixtures. But as for March, it's a bit of the March and April to start with, a bit of the reverse of that kind of patch I talked about. Cheltenham, Newport, Crawley, Shrewsbury, Exeter, Fleetwood. Again, teams that at the moment you wouldn't necessarily see as particular contenders. So, that might put you in a good place for the run-in. And, of course, we always win at Cheltenham these days, Rob, so there's no need to...
One from one, Andrew. That's the way I'm looking at it. 1 from 1.
100%. Can't get better than that, can you? Really?
2 from 2.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I try to ignore Mark Kennedy, as you well know.
Yeah, even though, of course, people say 110%, you can't... Anyway, let's move on. Ray, anything you want to pick out of that lot?
The two of the home games in March, hopefully again a few away fans with Northampton and Newport. Cheltenham, I was confident we would keep the run going there, but it is the 13th, so I'm not so sure on that one. And then looking into April, Exeter was the one I was looking for because I haven't been there. I'm really looking forward to that one. And also Accrington, one of my favourite away games, is also in that month. So a couple of nice away trips there. The only thing I was looking at in April, apart from Exeter, has a pretty northern feel to it, April.
Yeah, it does too. Yeah. My great thing about Exeter, I can get the bus, which is marvellous. Phil, how about you?
Obviously, Exeter will be high up my priority list in that month.
They won't let you in after what you said earlier. They won't let you in.
I can go in disguise. I can speak the accent down there. I think the April looks a relatively easy run-in apart from Salford. Compared to last year when we had a really tough April. And it would be ironic if Salford proves to be a crucial game.
Yes.
But I can't, they are going to keep splashing the cash. So that's going to be a tough one to have in April. But other than that, April, if we're in contention by then, I would expect us to really drive it home.
Fair enough. Rob?
The interesting thing for me is Easter's very early this year, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because we very often turn around and say that the Easter fixtures are the ones that ultimately define where you end up, because those 2 games in 4 days quite often make a massive difference to the table. But I think they're about 7 or 8, maybe even 8 or 9 games away from the end of the season. So especially with these Tuesday night fixtures that Andrew's mentioned are scheduled in there. So maybe Easter's not quite such a critical time at this point, but it's already been covered. The games in there generally, Salford apart, are against teams that you would look at and say likely lower half of the table. So if that's the case, you certainly have got an opportunity there to really stamp your authority on the very back end of the season. Albeit, as we well know, the likes of Accrington away for us has proved a very tricky game to have over the course of the last few seasons. So even though on paper those games might look appealing, the games against teams we've not necessarily always had a great record against.
No, pleasant place to go to, though. We all agree on that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, I'll let you kick off with May then, because there's only 2 league fixtures in that one. First is away at Chesterfield, a Saturday, and on the 8th, it's Gillingham, our final match of the season. That's at home, because we won't need the playoffs. We'll go up via automatics, Rob. What are those 2 games? Nice 2 games to finish with or not?
Well, I think it's very ironic, isn't it? It's Chesterfield again, second from the end. I mean, obviously it was last game last season, which was important to them, and they got the right result. It was important to us, and we didn't. So it's our opportunity to turn the tables this time around, I would hope. And what a way to finish. If you could wish for a team in that division to want to get the last result against, to give yourself the promotion, Gillingham at home, there's an awful lot of factors in that, isn't there?
Yeah, many of which many people have forgotten about because it's so long ago. Yeah.
Oh, no, we haven't.
Andrew.
Yeah, I've got to echo what Rob said. Be lovely in a position to put one back over Chesterfield, and then there is that kind of curious thing with, it's a bit odd because you've got 2 games that aren't exactly derby games, but do have a bit of an edge on them. For the first one at home at Cheltenham and the last one Gillingham. So yeah, there we go. But let's say hopefully we'll be in a position where they mean plenty.
Ray.
Yeah, my thoughts are very similar to the guys. Chesterfield again near the end's interesting, and Gillingham. Obviously, we have been in promotion showdowns with them before, and it would be nice to think that would happen again. Yeah. With the right result, of course. Yeah.
Can we parade Ray McHale on the pitch? Surely we can do that.
And Charlie Henry and Steve White as well.
Yeah. They'd all go down very well with the travelling Gillingham fans, I'm sure. Phil.
Yeah, just Gillingham. It's always nice to beat them. Having been at the game where all the trouble happened with Ray McHale, stood with Gillingham fans because I was visiting a friend who was a Gillingham supporter. I believe McHale was innocent, okay, and I just delight whenever we can beat Gillingham. It was always be in our hearts, isn't it? That you've got to beat Gillingham, and it's just makes life a little bit more interesting. But the Chesterfield one could well be the crunch game, and I just hope that we approach it in a slightly different way this year and get our own back on them this time.
Yeah, just finally, the EFL Trophy Group E, Southern Section, Newport, Plymouth Argyle and Crystal Palace. Andrew, we don't know what's home and away, but I'm guessing Crystal Palace will be at home for. We just have to wait to know what the other one will be. Of course, Plymouth Argyle would have been with the team would have played had the Luton result stood, of course. So we go back to that, don't we?
Oh yeah, yes we do. But yeah, I think they're meant to be sort of scattered around September and October. So they might add the odd bit of midweek there where there's no one to debate. It's kind of very familiar opponents, isn't it? Really, but hopefully you can beat Newport, see off Crystal Palace, and then see what strength side Plymouth want to put out, because I guess they'll have eyes on getting back to the Championship.
Yeah, they'll be looking at promotion, I'm sure. Any other thoughts on that?
Well, hopefully for you, Vic, you get Plymouth at home, away from home. But
yes, please.
For everybody else, we want Plymouth at home and Newport away. Thanks very much. But I'm just gonna rip up the copybook a bit here when it comes to the EFL trophy. I just simply think we should have withdrawn this year. Simple as that. After what happened last year.
And it all goes back to Cardiff, the start of last season. Ray?
Yeah. I'm in the camp of Plymouth away actually, because I haven't been there, so I quite like to chalk that one off if I could.
Phil?
I much prefer Plymouth at home because coming from Devon, it's always nice to beat Plymouth as they're not exactly friends with Exeter, and it's always nice to see them stumble. But I disagree with Rob in terms of the Virtue Trophy. I just think it would be great this year if we did make up for last year's mess ups and went on and won it.
Well, interesting enough, Exeter got Plymouth in the Carabao Cup first round. So that's an interesting local derby. John says non-league club away in the FA Cup. I'm still traumatised by Tooting and Mitcham. Yeah, it was a long time ago, but hey, you know.
Vic, on the positive side, when you talk about TV rescheduling and things like that, the first day of the season's already been decided apparently, and we are not on the telly on day one. So Northampton will be 3 o'clock. Well, I say we're not on the telly. Actually, that's a lie because every game is on the telly apparently on the first day, but we've not been moved. There's 2 other games that have been moved.
That's excellent. So there we are. We whizzed through it in an hour. There was a lot to get through. Kick-off on the 8th of August at Cardiff City in the EFL Cup. Northampton's the first match on the 15th. Away in the league, we finish with games against Chesterfield and Gillingham. And there we are, Chris. We whizzed through it in an hour. 5 feet left us after 45 minutes. Terrible behaviour.
Yeah, no, I'm so sorry. That's my fault. I should have explained that in the beginning because I knew he has another show to do, and as he said, he did put it back 45 minutes so that he could come on here because he wanted to. So that's my
bless him,
my fault. So, but thank you very much. Yes, interesting fixtures. Let's see how we go, and hopefully we'll have some new players in to show off at Supermarine before they head off to Alicante. Vic and I will be back Monday. We have got a competition to run on Monday for some tickets to Supermarine. So we'll be on socials prior to that, and then we'll draw the winner on Monday when we're on. But thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Vic. We will see you Monday. And just to appraise Vic, we will play the video now that we didn't do at the start. If it works. We can all but see. So we will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
No.
Let's see. Not played, is it? No. Doesn't want to play.
No, I'll tell you what, we'll do it on Monday.
We'll do it on Monday. Yeah, we'll pretend we didn't have.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Don't move a muscle. Oh, no. I thought it was coming on then. Should we just go?
Yeah, I think so. Could be here all night doing this. I've got thunder on its way as well.
Oh, of course you have. And you've got a quiz night on you. So,
yeah,
right.
Get on with it. Yeah.
Sorry for the interruptions today with the internet. It is, I'm sure, to do with the weather. But keep safe, everybody. And we'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.
Bye.